presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Hello once again, sports fans, and hello, Missouri. This is Guy Newcomb, the scoreboard guy, coming to you from the Pizza Ranch studio on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Presented by Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, the Bank of Billings, Burgess and Associates, Doak Propane, Central Bank, Lionel Laborers, Local 663, Building Missouri, and Building Missouri State, and reminding us to drive safely in all work zones. Those folks want to go home safely as well. We welcome in to high school game day the Webb City Cardinals head baseball coach, Coach Andrew Doennig. Coach, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, appreciate being on today.
You guys, 22-13 on the season, and I'm looking at your schedule. You played several out-of-state teams. You played a brutal schedule, and there was probably some games that got washed that may have added to the struggles as well. But talk about the season.
We played kind of a really tough schedule, and some of the games it probably would have been even tougher had some of them got rained out. But we played 6 out-of-state teams this year, 2 from Illinois, 2 from Oklahoma, and 2 from Arkansas. The teams from Illinois came down. That was kind of a different deal. It was a guy that played, which is where I went to, and he wanted to bring his team down on spring break, so they came down to Southwest Missouri, and we hooked it up over at Southern, which was pretty fun for the kids. We played Grove, Oklahoma, which the last time I looked, they were like 25-6 heading into their playoff. And then played a team from Oklahoma City at the beginning of the year, Bishop McGinnis. They ended up beating us at the very beginning of the year. The Oklahoma team started before us, so it was kind of a rough one to start the year, but that's all right. And then I got talked into playing Harbor, which ended up winning the Class 6 in Arkansas. They weren't too bad. They were a pretty good ball club. They pounded us pretty good. That was all right for us. The same day we go play Fayetteville, which they ended up being in the top 8 in the state of Arkansas in Class 6. Ended up getting walked off in the last inning with those guys. So, we played a lot of out-of-state teams, and it's always good to play somebody else. It's kind of fun, sometimes around here it gets a little monotonous playing this. And so it was fun to play those other teams, and then we play Rockbridge twice this year, lost a 1-0 game to those guys. Let's see who else. Of course, you get into our conference schedule, man. Every game in the COC is tough. I mean, you got Nixa, who's in the Final Fours in our conference. Willard, who's top 3 ranked team all year, and we lost a 1-0 game to Nixa, or not. Well, we lost a 1-run game to Nixa in our conference game. We lost a 1-run game to Willard in our conference game. And you got Republic that was really good this year. We beat them on so we had a lot of tough games and a lot of close games. But, that's what I told the kids at the beginning of the year. I said, I'm going to build this thing like this for you guys. And I promise you at the end of the year, it's going to pay off. You're not going to be scared of tough games. You're not going to be scared of close games because we're going to have a lot of them. We're going to win some. We're going to lose some. And that's just how baseball goes. You win some, you lose some, and you just kind of roll on. So I think the schedule that we prepared, helped us towards the end of the year. Sometimes you get in those late innings and it's tight and, you're going against a good pitcher, and I just keep reminding these kids, man, you've seen this stuff before. Let's keep going.
Yeah, and that prepared you for your districts. I mean, outside of Grandview, who you run Rule 13-0, the last 3 games that you've played have a bloop and a blast beat you. 3-2 in 8 innings, 2-0 to McDonald County, and then Kearney, it's a 3-2 game. Talk about that run through districts and then that matchup with McDonald County.
Of course, we got the first round game with Grandview. Kid threw like a 5-inning perfect game against Grandview. Roll in that same game against a team that dropped down from Class 6 to Class 5, and they had some good players on that team. They got a shortstop, freshman. Kid's a freshman is going to Tennessee. He's a pretty good pitcher. We saw the day before. It was a really tight game. And it's one of those deals where we mishandle the ball and one call doesn't go our way this way or that way, and that's just kind of how it is. And we ended up squeaking it out on another walk-off hit. I think that was like our 3rd or 4th one of the year. And then that district championship game, we played MAC earlier in the year, lost like 3 or something like that. Kind of the funny thing about that one was when we played them, the starting pitcher didn't get out of the first inning. He didn't have his best stuff. We made an error. He walked a bunch of guys, didn't make it out of the first inning, and didn't play real well. So some other things in that game gave us a lot of motivation going into that district championship game. So going back around, we were ready to go and started the exact same kid that started against him last time, and he absolutely just filled it up and did a fantastic job and win that game 2-0. We scoring a safety squeeze and then a double by our kid. And so we went 2-0. So win our district back-to-back years, but then after MAC, to the game with Kearney. Kearney was another team we actually went up and played this year too, up there at their place earlier this year. The first time they jumped out on us pretty good, and then we came back and scored 8 runs in 1 inning and ended up winning. But it's you're not seeing their best guy. Maybe they didn't see our best guy type of thing. But man, we knew it was like, man, their catcher was a good player. Their 1 through 6 could flat swing it, so we knew we'd have to play well. And the funny thing about high school baseball is we've had the same kids start the last, 1, 2, 3, and tomorrow will be game number 4 in a row we started just because of, the layoff that you get. So, man, he throws a 2-hitter against Kearney and limits them to a few runs, and, we squeak one out there too.
Again, visiting with Webb City Cardinals head baseball coach Andrew Doennig. And Coach, just a little bit about your team. You talked about the pitcher who's going to be on the mound. Will have thrown the four games in a row. Coming out of last year, what did you have to replace, and what did you have coming back, and who's kind of those guys filling in those roles for you?
We returned our shortstop, Cy Darnell, from last year. He was an all-state shortstop last year. Really, does a great job for us at shortstop. Hits in the top of our lineup, plays good defense. He's got a plus arm at short. So, we knew he had him coming back. And then Kaylor Darnell, which is his cousin, he's the kid that's been starting the line for us. He played third base all the time last year and pitched a little bit. So we kind of had to step roll this year for us. He's done a great job. He had a little bit of a hiccup here. But since that first game at Mack County that he started, he's been really well. Actually went through our conference slate undefeated, went 5-0 and didn't give up a run. So that was great to see from him. Returned our first baseman, Kinley Hood, who's he's going to go down in the record book at Webb City as the best defensive player ever. He's going to have a legit 99% fielding percentage, which is just phenomenal. I think the one error he had this year was a ground ball that went right between his legs, and I was just probably as shocked as anybody that he missed it. So, he's a phenomenal first baseman. I've never seen anything like it. But other than that, we had another kid, an outfielder, William Hayes, that started last. Everybody else we had to replace. We had to have a new catcher, new center fielder, right fielder, second baseman. Guys on the mound. There wasn't that many guys that came back and through. We had Kaylor, and then we had Walker Sweet. Walker had 17 appearances last guy, and we, I tried to make him something he wasn't in the beginning of the year. He talked about starting him, so we let him start, and that's just not who he is. So moving him back to the bullpen, kind of closer role, and he's flourished since then. But man, we've had some guys really step up. Gage Chapman, he's our center fielder. He hits in a 9-hole for us, but he's up in the top of our batting average. And then Big Sean, our catcher, he's not your prototypical catcher, like a Mike Piazza type of deal. But he's not bad behind defensively either. But he's been swinging it pretty well for us all year long. He hits our 3 and 4 hole. Let me see who else. We've kind of had a little bit of by committee in right field, which is okay. A guy named Drew Vonderhaar has played a lot of different positions. He plays third when Kaylor's pitching, plays right field, and he's hitting the middle of our order all year as a junior, first year in varsity. He's done a fantastic job. We had a kid start this year as a sophomore. His name's Landon Fletcher. And the thing about him was last year as a freshman, he just, filled it up big time, is just in the zone all the time. So you knew he'd give you a chance to win. And, we started him a few times. We're like, okay, well, let's see if he can do it again. And rolled him out there in conference play. And he, he beat Branson. He beat Republic. I think who else he beat. It might have been. He had the lead in the game against Nixa when he came out. Threw 7 innings against Nixa, had him beat. So it wasn't his fault that we lost. We made some bets behind him. Pitched 7 innings against Ozark. Made some defensive miscues behind him, and then kind of went down with an injury after that. And so, for a kid who's a sophomore, he went 5-0 on the year, and we're gonna look forward to having him back next year. But we've had a lot of guys step up this year, just a lot of guys in different places.
Now you've got St. Francis Borgia tomorrow at 1 p.m. Down at the Sky Bacon field there in Ozark, Missouri. What do you know about St. Francis Borgia outside the fact that, I mean, they beat a good Glendale team to get here?
Yeah, I heard they got a really good number one pitcher, the Nope kid. I heard, he's their guy. He's the best pitcher, best fielder, kind of their do it all kind of guy. So upper 80s, lowest ball. He's got a swiping slider, strike you out. You got to be careful pitching to him. They got some other guys in their line that can swing it. I've heard a few different things from some people. You ask around somebody you don't play very much, and so it's forever, and so you got to kind of find out as much information as you can. They'll run and they'll bunt and they'll do kind of all things high school teams do, but the kind of all starts with the Nope kid from what we understand. So, and we're just going to show up and we're going to, try to make our pitches and see what happens.
What time you guys getting on the bus tomorrow?
The kids are going to leave at 9:45. The coaches, myself, and a couple up early and watch the 10 o'clock game, just because I've never seen Festus or Zumwalt either. So we'll go up and watch that one a little early. The kids are going to leave about 9:45 here from our indoor and on to Sky Bacon Stadium.
All right. Very good. Well, Coach Doennig, thank you so much for your time. I know this was really short notice. This episode 691 here on the Missouri Sports Network, and we'll be there tomorrow watching, and best of luck and safe travels.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
You bet. You're watching the Missouri Sports Network here on High School Game Day, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life.